Hello everyone. We have Markiplier here.
Funny.
But yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to
The Chair Champions Talk.
I'm Gabriel,
And I'm Noah.
and we are here today talking about Helluva Boss episode
4.
4. No, 3. Oh, 4, right.
Yeah,
3 was
4.
last week. This week's 4.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, episode 4.
And we get new characters this episode.
Yes, new characters. I have at some point during this, I'm gonna have to keep myself from going on too much of a spiel, but I was not looking forward to this episode, even just from the thumbnail alone, for reasons eventually that we'll get into. I'm gonna save that for later because I don't think people want to hear about it at the beginning of this. So we're just gonna start with the normal stuff. So hardware section, let's start with that.
So the acting was good.
Mm-hmm. New voice actors.
Yeah, new voice actors.
I'll have to look who they are. I don't know. We didn't really stay for the credits.
We haven't really gotten any information on that yet. But anyways, they're pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
They do fit the bill of what their characters are.
Right, what they're supposed to be, basically.
Yeah. I feel like they had more punchlines and jokes with this episode.
I think so, yeah. They went with more...
It wasn't so much a little bit of teen drama like the last one.
Yeah, they kind of reverted back to what they were starting off with. And I think I could tell you really liked that. I admit the comedy layer of it.
Yeah, comedy is better when it's...
Right. I think they're probably going to throw in an episode like episode 3 was every now and then. Be like, all right, let's give them a bit of story.
And there was a couple times where it was like, oh, there's a meme in there because, the scene with the Santa Claus.
Right.
I
was like, they just did that, and that's the part that reminds me that it's a YouTube series.
It's just like, wow, they know them.
Right. And there was one other. I'm trying to think. There was a facial expression by one of the.
There was either the money when he said money or
Yeah,
it had to be the goat or the sheep.
There was one other
or
meme.
The cats. The cats where everything was dying rapidly.
Right. There.
I don't know what that one was about.
Yeah, there was some. Yeah. I'm gonna have to rewatch the episode at some point. But yeah. Speaking of what, we just got done watching it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I'm so
look, this is a podcast. Oh, right. I forgot to advertisement. If you want to tweet us thoughts or things like that, go to @GabeNNoah1, our Twitter. I usually manage that, but we look at the tweets, and you can there's hashtags there that I think you can use for suggesting us films and TV shows and
genres and stuff. Whether it's games, movies, cartoons.
Yeah, and speaking of which, today is episode 9.
Yeah.
Next week's episode, or next episode, if we don't get to it next week, is the big one. So next, you'll see announcements on the server and everything. It's a special. It's a special episode. So but yeah.
Anyways, there's not a lot of... the art's what it usually is. It's spot on.
Yeah, the art and animation is still, good quality. It's not changed too much. That's the software section. We'll get to that in a bit. But anyway, the story of episode 4.
Oh, yeah. Episode 4 is... So they have new competitors. They're the Cherubs.
Right. The exact opposite, basically.
Yeah. So you have Imp, and then you have Cherub. Cherub is the, I guess...
That is the opposite of good. Are you okay?
Yeah. That clank you just heard, even if it's not in post, is my...
I literally went like this and did a backflip.
Is my cousin Dorian, who is also our third crew member for Chair Champions Play.
Right. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that so aggressively.
I'm scared to make background noise.
Anyways, so this entire episode is them going head to head with each other in business, where the Cherubs are trying to save the person from killing themselves, while the imps are
Mm-hmm.
trying to kill the person.
Right. The cherubs they get hired to give blessings, or what they're calling them blessings when they're just trying to save the person from dying. So it's like, hey, I liked it. You know that guy down there? Yeah. His name's Noah. He's a bit, he's not the smartest guy, but like I want to make sure he doesn't die yet. In a bit, I would like to see him.
Well, I think it's more like they get hired.
Because I'm gonna die first, probably.
Oh my god, that's a dark thought.
I know.
Cut that out.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man. Anyways, so it's like cherubs. They're not really paid.
No, they're not.
They're more like,
'cause, like, I don't
if
think
someone makes a prayer for them,
I think
they get the job.
I think yeah. I would assume that in this world where there's devils, angels, and all that, and that they have jobs, that the angels, like in heaven, there's an economy of some sort as well, like to a degree. So like maybe prayers actually are a currency up there. Who knows?
Probably.
I could see that being a thing.
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to concentrate very much on that though, due to the fact, it's supposed to be about hell and all that. HE double hockey sticks, as Matt Pat would put it.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so
Yeah,
the
go
entire episode is them going head to head for this one trillionaire old man.
Mm-hmm.
To make him, for the imps, kill himself, or for the cherubs not kill himself.
Right.
Anyways, and it's just like a whole run bag of gags and everything, just showing him why not to live.
Right. Yeah, animals will make you feel so happy, and then just like, but they kill each other in battle to the death.
Or it's like, oh, look at Santa, see? Look at the joy he brings to all these kids.
What
Yeah.
man? What man?
Santa's a creep.
Yeah. No offense to all of the people that actually do Santa things.
No.
Like, and
Yeah,
obviously they don't mean that. It's
no,
just,
it's just
but it's
like
the
a
kind
joke.
of thing that easily could be done and is done.
Yeah, it's just the.
But yeah, there's
usual
people out there who
joke.
really do. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
But yeah.
what was that? I heard it. I was like,
You heard it. It's like, yeah. What was that?
anyways, and then so at the end of the episode, I guess everything turns around.
That's one thing I'm curious about. How are they going to be reoccurring characters? Because, like, I was thinking the whole thing was they're going to be pitted against each other every now and then.
Yeah, but they got kicked out of heaven.
Right, and the one I have to say, out of all the voice acting, my favorite was that, no.
It was like, yeah, no.
I did. Whoever did those lines, delivered it so perfectly. I'm actually curious, like, who they may be, like, who that cameo.
They have a very Canadian voice to them.
Right, it's like, he's like, yeah, no, you can't, like, you caused
Sorry
that.
about that.
But, like, no.
Yeah.
I just loved it. Her it's like she had attitude, but she was nice.
Yes.
It's the best way you can word it. It's like I gotta kick you out of here, but I want to do it with a smile on my face while not making you feel bad.
Yeah.
Bye. But yeah.
But it was just like,
Who out of the new characters do you think did the best voice acting? Because like mine is still with that one goat lady
the
there.
purple.
No.
Purple.
No, the one that was like the Canadian one.
Yeah, that was a deer.
Deer, right.
I like the purple sheep
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't so much of what he said, but it was more of what he actioned.
Okay, so his actions and like the voice was just to add on in many ways.
Like the part where he was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
the sheep. He just like his cold dead stare, just like
He was just like,
yeah.
like it's like he's the quiet guy, but out of the group, kind of like he's loud, but he's the quieter one.
Yeah.
He seemed, and I think it was
He's
obvious
like,
that
"I'm
the two
seeing
sheep,
stuff."
the two sheep are supposed to be together.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
they're the
just-
Moxie and Millie.
Yeah, but it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I mean, you're, like, and the fact that they're talking about animals as well, doing the deed, and so he was probably just like, I mean. What are you blushing for? I mean, we do it like sometime or something.
Yeah, he's just like,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
yeah.
But no, and that brought back my favorite joke out of it. It's just like, What the inventor guy say? Shut up, dear furry.
Oh yeah, he's like, silence, dear fairy.
I was just like, wow.
Like, honestly, out of all those characters, he was like, I would say those two old guys were technically us in a way, but not exactly.
Yeah,
It was like
the gags they did.
in many ways, those two were like, our two characters, our characters we came up with, the bar ones. It was like them, but like an inverted version of them.
Yes.
That's what we would have been like.
Yes.
The inverted act, like, completely. It's like, silence, because I do this voice all the time.
In that movie, you just
I'm
like,
eccentric.
huh, maybe I should do this. No, maybe not.
It's like, I want to meet my colleague again.
But it's like, how about not?
Yeah.
Just like, I would debate on this.
And, oh, dude. But yeah, story, it was comedic. It was good and all that.
I think I'm all out of thoughts.
Acting, story, and pacing and all that.
No, it was very, episodic, so it was a very good pace. Like, it was kind of like, I think it was because I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah, the more you enjoy it, the more you just want it to keep going, right? Like the episode 3, we didn't enjoy as much as some of the other ones.
No,
Thus, it felt long.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was much longer than this one.
No, it was.
They're about the same length.
Seconds.
Yeah, it's not
second
like
difference.
yeah. So it's like we enjoyed one more, so that one just zipped right by.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and so before I get into the thing, before we get into like the general talk, I'm thinking we're after hardware and software, we'll just have like general conversation about the show. So software, animation. Again, there's not much to say about it since it's remained the same. I do have to say I noticed there was many similarities between this new Robo Dude and how they did the animatronic in episode 2. I'm noticing.
Robo Dude. Oh, you're talking about the inventor.
The inventor, yes.
Oh, okay.
The way his movements and body structure didn't feel copied, but similar to the animation that they did for the Robo animatronic in the Lululand.
Well, isn't it usually like in the animation world? Sorry, folks. Sorry. As I was saying, isn't it usually in the animation world or art world, they usually, once they make a character, they kind of make a template of the character?
Yeah. There's like when it comes to animation and art in all senses of the word, you want to make it as easy on yourself as possible. Any job is like that, but art and animation especially, because it's like we are drawing the same thing over and over and just slightly different from different angles and stuff. So how about we make this like that's a lot of the reasons that in most anime you'll notice cars, guns, and most backgrounds. Well, no. Backgrounds are usually done like except for like cinematic scenes. Like let's say you're just a scene character is walking down the road, and there's a city in the background with cars going back and forth. The city will be done 2D, all that in the background, but
what was that? Oh, it was that.
Oh. But cars and guns and things like that.
We could have edited something just like light bulb.
I've got it. But yeah, cars, guns, most machinery, but especially cars and guns, are all done 3D. And the reason for that is because guns and cars, the way they exist in the real world is that they're not necessarily supposed to be cartoony objects. Like they're not supposed to bend hardly at all. Same goes for big structures, but like with fight scenes, you can morph the background because things are supposed to blow up and da-da-da-da. But like in 3D is mainly used because of objects that need to stay consistent but need to be seen from all sorts of different angles. So cars, guns, and backgrounds are a lot of the time done like that. Moving backgrounds are. But and there's technically ways to do that in 2D as well called parallax, but that's a whole other thing that we don't need to get into. Right. But anyway. But yeah, but for something like this, so far there's almost nothing done 3D. So they need to make the 2D animation as simple as possible. So yeah, they have character templates in a sense that they have, all right, let's do like let's say you're starting a new world that you're going to make and you want to design a whole new universe. You start off with this, like, let's say you're making a character for that world. First, you decide what's the general look. Like, you can tell that, like, if you look at My Hero Academia and then you look at Demon Slayer, you can tell they're two different animes. Just slight enough differences that it's like, this is drawn this way, this is drawn that way. Same goes for story characters like this. There's a, like, while it is reminiscent of, so what's the one from, what's Moxie from?
Oh, Invader Zim.
Invader Zim. The animation is, like, hugely inspired by Invader Zim. They've said it several times. Most of them were big fans. Are you good?
Most of them were big fans of Invader Zim. I used to be on Invader Zim. Let's do this.
Exactly. So basically that kind of a thing where the animation is similar to that, but it is its own thing. It's done, and plus Invader Zim's older, so it's like the quality is a lot different as well. It's cleaner and all that. But yeah, for the robot design, it's like, okay, we have a cool design and we know how to animate this design of the animatronic. So it makes complete sense, and I'm pretty sure most animators do this. It's like, all right, we need a character that has a similar idea. He's supposed to be slender and stuff. We'll give him similar looks to this, but he's different. That's the main thing, because like the designs are very similar.
I've actually seen kind of a pattern with lanky characters in this show, or in this art style that Vivziepop does. They're very wispy.
Yes, I think it's definitely on purpose that because like Vivziepop style is supposed to be Invader Zim mixed with magic, is what I'd say. It's supposed to be a magical Invader Zim.
So the skinnier and taller you are, the more you're going to look like a
smoke, practically.
Smoke, yeah.
Or like a eel or something. Yeah.
Just like you're going to be too smooth in movement.
Right. You're going to be so, like, it's supposed to be unnatural almost.
And if you're short and portly, you're most likely going to become a ball.
Right. You're going to be a very roundish character type of thing.
And we saw both examples.
Right. They were literally exactly that. So there's lots of, like, you take even the owl guy, very skinny character, right? And so, like you said, they are more wispy. Now, I think he's an example of, like, a skinny character
that's stagnant.
That's kind of, that's more stagnant. He is smooth, but he's still solid. He's solid, because he's also supposed to be ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
So it's like, I literally took my daughter to space to watch a star collapse to get her to sleep. I mean, like, funny thing, apparently in a live stream, didn't know this until I watched the theory video, but there is some lore that is like made on the spot for this show. One of them is that apparently Canadians in hell have their own city. They're just separate from everyone else.
Really?
So there's a lot of story that actually, some lore that I do want to go over real quick that I recently learned. If anyone has seen the Matt Pats video, which you probably have, then you will know this. There are 7 circles. Originally supposed to be 9, but there's 7 now that are supposed to be the 7 deadly sins. And that's like the layers of hell. The first layer is where all the sinners are. That's like anyone who commits sins who goes to hell. That's where they are. Right, that's where they work. All the other rings are where devils reside, demons and devils. That's where they reside.
Oh.
All the other rings that are below that. Humans, anyone who dies sinners, are not allowed past that. And somewhere on that top layer is a city just for Canadians. Like, they made it even a thing that apparently the city, hell for the Canadians, is called Heck instead. I just think that's genius.
Wait a minute, so are you telling me that our theory was correct?
Which one?
How, they kind of get more animalistic.
I think so, yeah. The deeper you go, remember what Blitz said in Blitzo. He said in episode 3 with to Verosika, because I'm pretty sure the nearest something, I can't remember. I think he said prison is 3 rings down.
I think it was rehab.
Right, the nearest rehab center is 3 rings down.
Yeah.
And she's a pop star and a succubus for one. So more famous, all that. So what I would assume is that the lower you go is the higher you go. Like, the lower you go, like, the center of hell is probably where Has-Been Hotel is right now.
Yeah, the king.
Right. Everything is down there. Whereas that top layer is where I didn't even think about that. 2 casts of characters, Has-Been Hotel and Helluva Boss,
could be happening
are
on the same
on
plane.
2 exact opposite planes on this whole thing. They're in the center of the middle ring, and they're on the 7th ring on top where all the sinners are. I never even thought of that. Makes so much sense. And also
make it plausible of why all the other characters could be from different timelines.
Actually, good theory. I think you might be completely right about that, because watch Has-Been Hotel again. Remember when she's doing... Couldn't there be a more humane way? That scene when she's talking? Blitzo's in that scene. He's there. He's just right there, but completely different design, similar, like different coloring. So it's entirely possible that this is way after, that Has-Been Hotel is way after or way before, or they looked at his design. I assume that they looked at his design and then thought, what if we use him for this other thing instead?
Yes.
I could see that. But like if they wanted to make it more like canon, maybe they're going to come up with a thing like, oh, maybe Blitz wasn't quite as bad in it once that he is now. This is like a random mini theory.
Well, I was saying more like how different characters could be talking like from different timelines.
Right.
Because like how they're saying like the radio demon came in how many years ago? Centuries years ago.
Centuries showed up out of nowhere.
Yet he talks like he's on the radio from like the 1930s, 1940s.
Yeah, MatPat actually made a mini theory that technically is like very like he even recognized this is like a mini. There's like it's very unlikely, but this is my own headcanon. That Alistair gets his power from Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. Now, it's he even mentioned far-fetched, but it's like there's similarities, like the music that Bill Cipher uses from the same area of the radio on Radio Demons thing, and I'm just like, it's reminding me of your name is Noah, that begins with an N. The letter N is also used in the word Nestor. You're Ethan Nestor from Crank Gameplays.
Yeah, I was thinking more like he started from the first ring, and by somehow, while he was still alive...
Or it would be the 7th ring, I think. Or no, you're right. Never mind. Go ahead. First ring. Yeah.
Somehow, through the years, he just went...
Well, that's the thing. He sprung up overnight is a thing, though. So it's like maybe what you're saying happened, but like very like absurdly quickly. Like he just went he just skipped 7 rings. What happened?
He was a sinner, and when he died,
right. I'm still so curious about that because my theory still is that the imps are not humans. We're never humans.
No.
That's still my.
I feel like they got. Now that I see it, I feel like they got kicked out from the higher establishments.
Yeah.
And got put into entry work duty.
At least we know Blitzo would 100% have ended up in this situation like that. He'd get himself kicked out of anywhere.
Yeah.
But there was one thing about it that I wanted to think. Right. The thing about all of it though is that for the most part, you never actually know if someone's from hell or not. Yet they haven't explained any of that. The only thing that we know is like, oh, hey, I'm a sinner. You know that. Okay, that person was a human. We know that now. The inventors, we know that. All that. That's how that works. But a lot of the time, for most of the characters, you don't know. Like Alistair, he could be a sinner, which I assume as well. I'm with you on that because personally. He's too human or too much. He's too defined, I guess is the word.
He's too personalized to be a demon.
That's it. He's too personalized. Blitzo looks like an imp. Yes. Moxie looks like an imp. They look like imps. Luna is a wolf. It's
a hellhound.
She is a hellhound. It's explainable what they are. She is a silence Stephanie.
That joke popped back in my head. I was just like,
dude, you're gonna be thinking about this. This is gonna bother you like the fingerprint thing. It's just every now and then. Silence Stephanie. What? Wake up in a
Did you really have to say the fingerprint thing, man?
I'm sorry.
Now people are going to be like, fingerprint.
We'll bring it up one day. Yeah. One day we'll tell you. Maybe in like a podcast video. Maybe podcast episode 100. It'll just be about the fingerprint.
The fingerprint. Episode 100.
You're going to, it's going to be video and you're going to have a room with all these strings. But anyway, sorry, we're getting distracted.
sidetracked.
Back to the episode. So yeah, the animations. I kind of diverged from software, but yeah, animation. Yeah, they definitely. I would assume at least that they definitely reused the format of the animatronic.
Yeah.
But I will say for the ball character, the guy.
Yeah, that
guy,
was a new concept.
It was a little bit. Yeah, it was just different enough that it wasn't what we've seen.
Well, I think they've gotten the concept from one of the Portlander guys from whatever Vivziepop was showing.
Yeah.
But instead of, because I think I've seen that shape before.
You have it's from the movie Robots. The exact same robot design. The big guy. Bigwell. Yeah. Exact same design, almost.
So I feel like they probably had a portly character template, a big guy template already in the works.
Yes.
And they just went with the legs, just erased it. And then you got a big... I love how you just brought that up, and I just got that connection because he's supposed to be an evil Bigwell.
Yeah, I get exactly, actually. He's an evil Bigwell. I saw the design and I immediately thought of Robots. I was like, oh, because that movie was my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that. I still love it. Fun fact, that entire movie, the music is all done by the Blue Man Group.
I would suspect so.
Yeah,
they were still...
There's a whole room of just pots and pans that they did all that stuff.
Weren't the Blue Man Group like in the prime when Robots came out?
What's the Blue Man Group?
You know, the guys go... Boom, 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 boom,
They like wear blue paint.
I mean, it's in their name.
They made music for a lot of Disney films.
I thought, no. Robots was DreamWorks.
Right, DreamWorks. My bad. Yeah. You know, I'd like to do, maybe one of these days we'll do an episode on robots, because that'd be a good one.
Episode 11.
No, that one's going to be a
episode
redo
12.
of, alright, episode 12. Alright, calm down.
I'm on there for that video.
Alright. But yeah. They're high-fiving their foots, just so you all know. Anyway, so yeah, software section, animation, good. Audio, again, I think it's improving 100%. Like,
yes.
Episode 3.
It was more clear.
Like, even episode 3 was...
a bit choppy.
Right. Well, yeah, a bit choppy, but like the sound effects are improving bit by bit through each episode of Helluva Boss. And like, I'm like, please take what you learned from that and use it in Has Been Hotel if you continue it, because that, like, would be much better.
I love... See, and that made me laugh more in episode 4 because of the subtle, like, moments that happen.
Right. They had more subtlety.
Yeah. Like, it's like, you know what's better than having your life? Money. No.
Right. It's like, no. Like, yeah, it's those, like, it's good small bits of comedy of, like, what makes big comedy work is the bits of small jokes thrown in between there.
Yeah.
So.
And how they bring in the internet jokes.
Right. It's that dude. It's still so clever. Like again, it just like, yep, this is a YouTube series. I gotta remember. Like, you watch it, you kind of forget that it's a YouTube series, and I think it's nice for them to be like, we mentioned Smooth Brain in episode 3. I mean, come on, it's a YouTube thing. We have memes in this series, guys.
Or the subtle picture, it's like, goodbye, my love, and it's free stock money.
No, that was the one. That's what I was thinking of. That was the thing that I was just like,
stonks.
Free stock footage, really. But yeah. So now, I'm going to make it a small bit. What I was not looking forward to, and even when watching it, I did not like.
So this is general now?
This is general. If you want to skip this section, honestly, this is the last bit. You can skip to the end if you want. This is me personal kind of thing that I feel. When I first saw the thumbnail, and this, so disclaimer, me and Noah were both Catholic. This is religious. So it's like
religion warning. If you want to skip, here's the timestamp.
Yeah. So it's like we'll probably the timestamp will be straight to the rating part of this, and I'm probably not going to include the religious aspect in my ratings. I rate the software bit. And this is kind of a hardware subject. So what did I not like? I saw the thumbnail. when it comes to this series, I don't like the idea of good is bad and bad is good type of things necessarily. And it's like, I get how it can be a funny ploy and comedic. Don't get me wrong. I love dark humor. I think it's... I
do love dark humor.
All sorts. Dark humor, all sorts of... All the ists, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of humor. I love it. I do enjoy it. And normal humor too, even. Like, just classic humor as well. I like humor in general. And with stuff like this, I get the joke. It's like, oh, we're rooting for demons.
We're rooting for the bad guy of all bad guys.
Right.
But yet, what?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. But it also from another standpoint, for me at least, it's a little bit, I guess, scary, but it's in a sense that, like, there's a lot of things, like, take the dragon, for example. Nowadays, we're in the point of where if someone were to actually, if a dragon were real and were to see one, there's the half chance that you might go up and pet it instead of running away.
Yep.
Because of what we have now, because originally, for the last 1,000 years, in fact, I don't remember, at least until it got made into movies and stuff like that, dragons were evil, period.
Yeah.
That's all there was
to
to
the
it.
concept of evil and malice.
Right. It was, and many times, most of the times, it was the embodiment of Satan himself. And
I mean, that's where the concept of Dracula came from.
Exactly. So it's like, dragons are supposed to be evil. Dracula is supposed to be evil. And all those things. So it's like, while I get, okay, it's a fictional character. The fact that the dragon is fictional so it doesn't really matter isn't what bothers me. It's the general aspect of turning good things into bad things and, like, making the bad things good things. That's the only thing that gets to me. So, like, when I saw this episode, I was really thinking about the fact that in many ways, and it's actually in other content shown up in Vivziepop's stuff, that heaven is not good in her. Just like, if you look in, there's a part in one of her comics, in the Zoophobia one. Speaking of which, episode 15 maybe we'll go over the comic. It'll be a comic episode.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. We'll go over what was originally posted. But yeah, Zoophobia, the original comic, there is a bit where one of the characters, a demon, is, like, treated badly by a, like, I think he's a, like, the guy's like, buy this Bible, kind of salesman churchgoer type of thing.
Oh, the preacher.
And he was like, wait, you're a demon, and then the angels out of nowhere summoned and all that, and stuff happens. And I know that's a regular thing, so I immediately would assume that Vivzie might have had some bad history with something like that. Yeah. Like, maybe someone who was, like,
Usually when art or like, stuff media-wise points hell as the kind of good place.
Right.
Usually the creator had a bad experience or experiences with religion.
Right, and that happens. And I get that. It's not that I'm trying to say that. I get that.
Man, the 90s were full of cartoons where hell was underrated.
Yeah, and so it's like, there's a lot of things where it's like, for me at least, when I see, it's like, I recognize it in the sense that, like, for me, the church itself is perfect, but people are not perfect. And there's a lot, so it's like, there's going to be tons of people in any religion that are going to be very, like,
against
like, it's like there's people who will profess to be Catholic and then do things that are not Catholic things, really. Like, I'm a Catholic and believe in free will. You have to listen to me. Yeah. And it's like, that's not an actual belief. That's not how how it goes. Like, there's a difference between saying I may not support this thing and saying I'm actively hating you as an individual, kind of thing. And it's like, those people make it worse for the rest of us, to be honest.
The ones that say their mind of what they think is crap usually are the ones that make the crap.
Right, and it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's the thing. People get influenced by that, and then it makes the whole thing look bad. It's like, take as an example the furry fandom. Hold on. Let me just get into this. most of the time when I ask someone, so do you like animals in any sense? Like, do you think animals just look cool, or do you draw animals? And there's a lot of people that just, yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. Myself included. I just think animal drawings are cool, or humanoid animals still. I watched Zootopia. Again, cool thing.
I watched a lot of like Mecha or Power Ranger-esque shows.
Right.
So the concept of an animal being human
is not lost on you.
Yeah, no, because there's a couple of aliens that look very animal. So
exactly. So it's that kind of a thing. But the way I like to think of it is that the weird people, or I'd say
people who make it wrong.
Right. The negative side of any community is the loudest of any community. So it's like any community that you're part of, the loudest people are usually the ones that are not really the best people in that community.
Yeah, usually the ones that make it not fun.
Right. And they're like, so that's the kind of thing, and it makes it weird for everyone else.
Yes.
So it's that kind of a thing. So like it's even the reason why there's such a thing as casual furry or intense furry. Like you take our friend Shibi, follower at Shibi_Leon on both Twitter and Instagram, shout out time, makes furry art. And it's like
she's a casual, right? I'm trying to remember.
Let me put it. I think she's like in between casual and intense in the sense that she's just an art. She likes to. The best way to think of it is, and she's told me this. She's an artist who happens to draw a lot of animals, and she doesn't draw specific types of content anyway. Like that's not even her shtick. So it's like that's not what she does anyway. So it's like you wouldn't call her. She's not an intense furry, but you would say that she is a furry. That's the best way to put it. She is a furry, but she's also a artist. Yeah, an artist.
We've made the
we've
made the middle ground, just A.
Yes, A. The letter A is perfect. So with that being said, getting back to the thing of it makes the weird side. So obviously, it is more than likely that Vivziepop, or at the very least, Vivziepop knew somebody maybe who had a very negative experience with that. Yeah. And when you know somebody who had something like that, it deters you a bit, obviously. Yeah. Like if I found out you had a friend, like let's say I thought having a friend is always good, and then I found out you had a friend that literally abused you or something, I'd be like, okay, maybe not. That's not a friend or something. I would have a negative thought of that as well because I care about you, type of thing, and vice versa. The same goes.
I care about you too.
Exactly. Wholesome moment, everybody.
A wholesome moment in a weird rant.
Right. Wholesome moment in an episode talking about Helluva. But yeah, so that's my only quote unquote beef with the show, in the sense that I'm not angry about it necessarily. It's more, it kind of worries me on a general aspect. I still enjoy watching the series. I still enjoy the comedy. I may not always agree with the moral output that it puts, but I still enjoy it to a degree.
It kind of gave me some solace. Then you know how they say the church is always negative about everything?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, this episode had characters in it that kind of were against that.
Actually, yeah, you make a good point. I think what you pointed out actually is really good, that they were, the cherubs themselves, I don't think, they're not bad. They weren't evil necessarily.
No, and
they were actually
all human either.
Right, and they were trying to do something that realistically is something we don't want to happen. We don't really real life want anyone to do that. In fact, I'm not going to even say it for the most part, but it's like technically the cherubs are the good guys. Yeah. They are the good guys. So we are rooting for the bad guys in this, but that's the big dark joke. I guess that's the best way to think of it, is the big dark joke is that these are the bad guys. Keep that I think in many ways this episode reminded you of, okay, while this is a joke, keep in mind that these are the bad guys. They're evil. They're not good people. They're trying to kill people. They're perfectly fine with murder. Like even Moxie was like, I just don't want to murder a family. A normal person, fine. But a family, they're still all evil.
Yeah.
Lo-fi.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing I just wanted to get out. I know that section was a bit long with all that I brought up.
That's gonna be a long time stamp.
That's gonna be a long time stamp. That's gonna be a lot of comments, I'm sure, a lot of tweets. But
Just like,
that's
what the hell is this?
yeah. But yeah, that's my personal opinion on the matter and type
My
of thing.
personal opinion is just like, meh.
Yeah.
They're just running the gag of hell's underrated
Mm-hmm.
shtick, and it's okay when you aren't like focusing on it.
Right. It's like I can enjoy the comedy in it. It's a lot like when my grandmother started to allow me to watch movies that had like swear words and stuff. It wasn't the sense that she wasn't saying. And when she started letting me like watch them and screen them myself, because she used to have to watch it first and then let me see a movie, and like, okay, I gotta skip this, da. That happened all the time. When I got to a certain age, she said, okay, you can see it now, and the way she worded it for me was that she wasn't making it that, okay, it's not necessarily bad, you're just old enough to know it's okay. It wasn't that. What she was saying was that you're old enough to not let it influence you in a way. Like, just because you watch a movie with a lot of swearing in it, and just because you end up enjoying the movie, doesn't mean you have to start swearing, type of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what she made it for me. So whenever I watch a movie or a series or something that has like moral standards that I 100% disagree with, or something really, when it comes to a moral standpoint, I know I'm mature enough that I can watch that, take what I can, the good parts out of it, enjoy those bits, but not let the parts that I seriously disagree with change my view necessarily of that kind of a thing necessarily. Right. And I think that's the best way to think of mature watching something. Bro, you okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
we don't stick your. But yeah, that's the whole thing of my little TED talk. But yeah, the ratings. I think we're getting to about the end of the episode. So hardware.
Yeah, I'd have to say it was a 9.
A 9?
Because I mean, I enjoyed the episode, and it was very on the nose,
mm-hmm.
or not on the nose, on the script.
Right. It wasn't like something completely crazy, but it was like good. Yeah, liked it, kind of thing, and I can get that. Animation, again, for this, honestly, it's hard to give a rating because I was actually enveloped enough watching the story and enjoying it that I didn't pay as much attention to the animation. So it wasn't there, like, other than that smooth moving guy, the robot, the invader, there wasn't much that I paid attention to animation wise. So I would I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Not a 9 or a 10, because there wasn't anything that really was like, oh, that was really good animation wise. It was just...
This episode was more audio than it was video.
Felt like a classic. It was like, I feel like this is the kind of episode that people will look back on and be like, oh, that's a classic Helluva Boss episode. Yeah. You know? Like, episode 3 was like, oh, I remember that episode. Like, episode 4 is like, oh, I loved that episode. Or that was a good one. That was a nice one. I liked that one. Like, that's something I'd go back and rewatch type of episode. And 3 is more of, I'd go back there to think about stuff kind of episode.
Or like if it was like a plot point.
Right. 3 is a plot. So yeah, so far, 2 and 3 were both plot points. Lululand kind of gave story, so did 3. But 4 gave
1
some.
1 and 4 were very episodic.
1 and 4 have been episodic. So now I'm curious. Like, it seems they're gonna alternate between those randomly, because like it was like episodic, story, episodic.
When it comes to shows like that, I'm always like, I can't keep track because you know, I've got school life and all that.
Right.
Where I'm just like, I can't sit down and watch something that's episodic and then watch something that also has plot points into it, because I'm gonna be there all day.
Right. Yeah. No. I get that because it takes up a lot of time. But yeah, animation 8 out of 10. You said 9 out of 10 on hardware.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, sound work and stuff like that, like the sound effects, that's technically part of the software section. So I have to say, yeah, solid 8 out of 10 for me. So overall, I believe that's about 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, that's an 8.5 overall. So 8.5 rating from us. Enjoyed it. You know, if you skipped my little speech, that's fine. It's not really pertinent to the ratings.
No,
I'm not really
not
including
at all.
that as a thing. That's like if we had a morality rating, this thing would be at -10, technically.
Well, the entire series, I think, but
I mean, it's supposed to be at a -10 as far as that goes.
but
yeah, I enjoyed it. Very nice. Next week next episode of CCTV. Tune in. Special episode Power Rangers.
Yes.
Noah is gonna go crazy with this one.
yes.
I'll probably be silent for most of that episode. So I'm actually thinking next episode we're gonna get some drinks and food and stuff. So we're gonna be there for a bit.
Yes.
We're gonna be chilling. Totally. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm Gabriel.
I'm Noah.
If you want to tweet us, it's at GabeNNoah1 on Twitter. And this has been Chair Champions Talk.